Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business. It's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're talking tech. Hey, I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the BizChicks. Now, we love to talk tech and keep you up to speed. So today we're going to just jump right into it. We always like to get started with this week in tech history. And pay attention because it might be a little quiz. So, so sit back and relax and let's get started today. How you doing, Fran?
I'm good. I have a window open. Hopefully, you're not hearing all that noise in the background, planes flying and stuff.
No.
Okay, cool. Because I didn't.
Yeah, that might have been me. I had my iPad going.
Oh
So
no, I know there's planes going
ah,
by
okay.
my house. Okay, so let us get started with this week in tech history.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start out with July 29th, 1914. The
Mm.
first test call is made on the newly completed transcontinental telephone line,
Mm.
taking place between New York and San Francisco. The last pole was erected and the line completed 2 days earlier on July 27th. But the commercial service did not start until January 25th of the next year. The 6-month delay was due to AT&T's wish to publicize the service in conjunction with San Francisco's World Fair.
Mm-hmm.
So the first transcontinental phone call, July 29th, 1914,
Coast to coast.
coast to coast.
All right.
All right.
I'm sure that was big stuff.
It was, because before then, what were they doing to get Pony Express or something? You wasn't getting a phone
You
call.
writing a letter. You weren't getting a call. You might
Yeah,
get a
writing a
telegram.
letter.
Yeah.
July July 30th, 1979,
Mm-hmm.
Apple begins work on the Lisa, which would become the world's first commercial computer with a graphical user interface.
Mm-hmm.
Originally intended to sell for $2,000 and ship in 1981, the Lisa is delayed until 1983 and sells for, anybody want to guess?
$24.99.
$10,000.
Oh my gosh.
Utilizing technology that is ahead of its time, the high cost, relative lack of software, and some hardware reliability issues ultimately sink the success of the Lisa. However, much of the technology introduced by the Lisa influenced the development of the Macintosh as well as other future computer and operating system designs.
Mm.
10 grand.
Well, you had something no one else had, and you had the initial launch, which is always
Right.
a collector's item, right?
Right. Um, which helps me not to complain about computer prices today.
Okay.
We're not at 10 grand.
Yes, because graphic cards, put into that bus line. That was a whole new.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, July 31st, 1971, using the battery powered Lunar Roving Vehicle, LRV, astronaut David Scott of the Apollo 15 mission becomes the first person to drive a vehicle on the moon. The LRV was used during the last 3 missions to the moon, Apollo 15, 16, and 17. The 3 LRVs used during the mission still remain on the surface of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we don't park our cars not on the grass, but we got them up on the moon. August 1st, 1981, MTV, presumably standing for music television, launches on cable TV. As most people know, after the introduction sequence, the first video played was "Video Killed the Radio Star" by the Buggles. However, a bit of trivia is that the second song played was "You Better Run" by Pat Benatar. MTV had an immediate impact on the music industry and was an iconic symbol of the technology driven 1980s.
Mm.
August 1st, 1986, Apple discontinues production of the Macintosh XL, effectively ending the life of the Apple Lisa computer platform. In January of 1985, the Macintosh line of computers was gaining momentum, but the Lisa line of computers was not selling well. I guess 10 grand would do that for you. In order to salvage what they could from the Lisa and offer a more powerful Macintosh computer, Apple created the Macintosh XL model by modifying a Lisa 210 computer to run the Macintosh operating system. Apple discontinued the Lisa in April of 1985, but continued to produce the hybrid Lisa Macintosh XL until this date.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, 10 G's will do it for you. Just saying. August 2nd, 1873, the Clay Street Railroad begins operations, making it the first cable car in San Francisco's now famous cable car system. 1873. Didn't we have cable cars in other parts of the world before then?
I have no idea, girl. That was a
18
little before my time.
Yeah, 1873. I'm just thinking there was other things going on. Okay.
Trains, maybe.
Not well, it could have been trains,
Hmm.
but that's the first San Francisco cable car.
Okay.
Okay, so it could have been something else. All right. August 3rd, 1977, Radio Shack introduces their first computer, the TRS-80, with the support of 3,500 Radio Shack stores, plus a relatively low cost. The TRS-80 helped drive the acceptance of the personal computer in the home. Originally forecasting sales of just 3,000 to 5,000 per year, the TRS-80 sold over 10,000 units in the first month and a half of sales, and
Wow.
200,000 over the lifetime of the product. Apparently, it was less than 10 grand. Okay.
But I don't think it had the same graphics
I don't think it did either.
and that's what made the Macintosh so successful. It
Right,
was
right.
intuitive, and it
It
had
has
a
some
better
perks.
graphic
Yeah.
interface.
So August 3rd, 1993, Apple introduces the Newton Message Pad, one of the world's first personal digital assistants, or PDA. The term PDA was first used by Apple CEO John Sculley in 1992. While a commercial failure, the Newton platform set the bar for future PDA designs. But perhaps the most important advancement the Newton offered to the technology industry was the development of the ARM processor architecture. Apple partnered with and invested heavily in the fledgling architecture to power the Newton devices, acquiring 43% of Advanced RISC Machines Limited in the process. The ARM architecture has been the foundation of most of the world's mobile devices at that time, including all versions of the Apple iPhone and iPad, and now the M series processors for the Macintosh. Incidentally, in 1998, Apple began selling much of their ownership interest in ARM, reportedly generating around $1 billion through 1999. This gave
Mhm.
Apple some much needed cash to carry them through their darkest days and into their turnaround to become the world's most valuable company.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Wow.
Interesting. And the last story, August 4th, 2007, NASA launches the Mars Phoenix lander. Phoenix would become the first spacecraft to land on the Martian Arctic surface. Its mission was to dig for ice and assess if the Martian Arctic ever had conditions that could have supported life.
Mhm.
All right. And
Okay,
that is
people want to know what's going on Mars, evidently.
yeah,
Well,
I'm like, and if if the atmosphere is not conducive for oxygen on Mars, then why shall we be there?
I have no idea what is driving this, but except for maybe more satellite stations so we can get our streaming faster. I don't know what's going on here.
I
Oh
don't
my
know. Hey, Dr. Tachi. Um, so yeah.
yes. Oh my. Well, I got a story here that I thought was interesting to me. Dr. Tachi, I hope you'll find it interesting because, we get a lot of complaints about.
Okay. Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, we're not hearing anything in Clubhouse. Like I can't hear you at all. I'm
Oh,
only I can only hear you because I have the TV on, but I don't hear you in Clubhouse at all.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, let me check my volume on this side.
okay. Thank you, Dr. Tachi.
I'm gonna go out and come back in, Dr. Tachi. So I'm gonna make you a what is that called?
An admin.
Well, she's already there, so let me go out and come back in.
Hmm.
Leave quietly and come back in. Okay, Dr. Tachi. Oh, that's because. How about now?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay, that would help because there was a mute on. And does it mute itself automatically? Because anyway,
How
microphone
interesting.
was muted. That would be a reason.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So we missed the whole This Week in Tech History.
No, not
Oh,
really.
'cause she had the TV on.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tachi.
I just looked over there and I'm like, oh,
Oh
the
my goodness.
mute
And
is
it's
on.
here. Oh, and here's Mark has a comment.
Okay.
Given the way that many things are going, even an oxygen-free Mars looks attractive.
Only Mark would
Oh,
try to
you
get to
know,
Mars with no oxygen.
Mark always has a valid point. It's like, we may have to get out of here. Uh, oh my goodness. Well, Dr. Tachi, Mark, and those of you watching live and on the replay, I saw this and you may have seen this before. I hope you haven't, but I wanted to share this because I'm always got an attitude about where people leave my packages and is it coming tomorrow? I need it because I ordered it 5 seconds ago, you know. And this made me rethink about the services that are really being brought to us and the people that deliver them. So I want to share this little video and I hope it will spark some conversation about what's really going on in the service industry as far as delivering goods. There is such thing as a supply chain, and this will make you think, I hope, a little more about how the item gets from where it's manufactured to our doorstep. So let's see if we can share this screen. Let's see here. And let me get this focused. And let me know if you can see this.
Let's go, let's go.
You will never find anything else like the Grand Canyon. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and this is unlike any other place you will ever live at.
Phantom Ranch is an oasis at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. From the South Rim where we're sitting, Bright Angel Trail takes you down to Phantom Ranch. It's about 9 miles. There are no roads, so it's critical to have the mules going to Phantom Ranch. The packers ensure that there are materials for our guests down there, as well as the employees that live throughout the year.
We bring down pretty much anything that Phantom Ranch might need. So we'll supply the steak dinners that the guests eat. We'll supply toilet paper and towels. Amazon packages get delivered to our big purchasing warehouse, and the packages going down at the bottom of the canyon get brought to the main barn. The biggest reason why we get ready so early is to beat the heat. Down at the bottom of the canyon, it can be 25 to 30 degrees hotter than up here. On average, for us, it takes about 4 hours to get down. The great thing about mules is they're half horse and they're half donkey, so you definitely get a little bit of personality from both their parents. The more you take them down, the more they memorize the trail. Most of the mules that we have at this point could probably walk the trail with their eyes closed. They're one of the most sure-footed animals.
Let's go, everyone. Let's walk. Come here. Step up.
Getting down to the very bottom of the canyon, you see the Colorado River rushing through these huge rocks around you. And the mules, they definitely pick up their pace once we cross the bridge because they know we're almost to Phantom.
The supplies that our mule team brings down are a critical part of making sure that life can exist down at the bottom comfortably and happily. Having a service like Amazon available to employees, especially in a place as remote as Phantom Ranch, is fantastic.
Everybody every week is ordering different things, either outdoor gear or snacks or whatever they need from Amazon. And whenever we show up, they're like, "Do you have our packages? We got something from Amazon. Did you bring it down?" They're like, "Yep, we got it right here."
It honestly makes me feel a little bit important to be able to give these people not only what they need, but also what they want.
Okay. So, Mark has jokes, right? Mark says, "Do I still get free 2-day delivery? Will my packages be covered in horsehair?"
Okay.
Oh, Mark,
I I love you. I thought this is really interesting because, a lot of times we talk about good customer service here on BizChicks and about, going above and beyond. And I have to hand it to Amazon. I'm not putting nothing on a mule and sending it down 9 miles of trail with one delivery guy. You see that she was the only person there leading all those mules down a 9-mile trail around a mountain and across a river to deliver some packages to one ranch, to one customer. I guess it would be like a village because there were people staying there. It seemed like it was a resort of some sort.
well, the people rode down there 9 miles too to get down.
They probably came in by helicopter.
No, they rode down just because it ain't no room for the blades. And Mark said this is the kind of place where I think the Amazon drones are a good option. Yes.
Mm-hmm. But that's a lot of stuff, and I don't know if they could carry that much.
I think it would be faster than the mules, because even if they took one big package and go back up and down with the drone, I think it would be faster. However, it is a very good system And you know, you when you think delivery, you're thinking, I guess you don't do DoorDash for this.
I guess you
But you
or if
know,
you do, you
partnering
don't
up with,
expect it to be hot. Okay.
yeah, partnering up with Amazon was a good move. And they're using the technology of the region, which happens to be a mule.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was just unique. When I saw, I said, "What they're doing? What?"
Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
All of this is very interesting. I think, like you said, they really definitely could do. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't know what it's like to go down there. If there are any atmospheric concerns that they have with taking a helicopter. It seems to me, couldn't they take a helicopter down to the bottom with the things? There's enough room there. Is there.
But you got to get across that river, and evidently there's a bridge. I don't know. I think this is probably the traditional way they've done it. They probably just contracted. Probably just contracted.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes. I mean, I think it's a cool thing, and I like the idea of tradition. That it works. Now, is that something I want to do? Do I want to stay in a lodge at the bottom of the sea? I do not, because just the process of getting there to me seems like there's got to be another way. But I think it is nostalgic for times of old when that was the only way you did have to get things there. So interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that it survived the whole automation thing. And here they are.
And nobody else is
donkeys. I didn't get to count them, but there were quite a few of them.
Wait, nobody is trying to do that. Not a lot of people are not trying to be down there for that, but there are some people. I guess you can get an Airbnb down there.
Well, evidently they said guests, so it's a ranch. So I'm presuming people wanted an authentic experience.
Yeah, go
people
for
are
it.
into experiences now when they stay places, and so
kind of reminds me of Mars.
And then it's got the convenience of being able to order on Amazon.
And you must be staying down there a while if you're going to order something from Amazon that takes 4 hours to go down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, toilet paper sounded essential to me.
Right. So that means they're there for a minute. It's like they're living there for a extended period. That's not like, oh, I'm in there for 3 days and then we're going back.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. Since you mentioned toilet paper, it just hit me. And this is so tangenty, but I'm wondering what their septic system and things are down there. Obviously, there cannot be a municipal sewer. I'm sure it's impossible, or maybe not impossible, maybe not there. So I'm wondering what that's like.
It's probably go ahead, Terry.
Well, my grandmother had a farm and she had a septic tank.
Septic tank. That's what I'm thinking.
And it went into some hole that they dug out there somewhere.
Well, I would think you would have an outhouse like they had in the Wild West.
Oh no, I'm sure they have indoor plumbing.
No. I'm talking about a modified outhouse. That probably leads to the septic tank. Do you understand what I mean? It has to. It's like the people I watched in what was that Alaska show where they're out in the wherever, and they had to build a outhouse and have it fixed up so that it processed whatever it was needing to process.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. When you live in places like that, I'm sure it's septic, but it's interesting because again, if something goes wrong, septic tanks are not foolproof. If something goes wrong where it needs to be fixed, you have to wait 4 hours for somebody to get down there to fix it. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Well, see, I would not be out in the wilderness like this. If it doesn't have 4 or 5 stars and a parking lot, I'm not interested. Okay. But so be it. There are people who want that authenticism. So there you go, guys. And then the Colorado River is not doing well in terms of surviving all of this heat. So I'm sure some of the things they used to do on the Colorado River may not be happening right now. In fact, there's a big fight going on. Well, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. All right, so that's what I have to share today, guys.
And Mark says Domino's refuses to honor 1 hour delivery,
Wow,
especially when it takes 4 hours to get down there. I guess you can't order a pizza.
I'm just appalled. So, do they have to pay them because they didn't make it on time?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can get Domino's probably does not deliver down there.
So Mark says,
For Amazon, I'm sure.
Right.
well,
And then Mark says, if you want stuff, why are you living there?
Do that.
Okay.
Good question.
That way.
If you want stuff, why are you living there? It reminds me of Sam Kinison and starving people in Ethiopia. Of course you're starving. You live in a desert. That makes sense. Okay.
Wow.
all righty then.
Wow.
Yeah, just saying. I'm like, woo.
So that's what I wanted to share with you. I thought it would spark some conversation.
Yeah. I'm glad they have the delivery, and if people are nostalgic about it, hey. I'm looking like there's no guide ropes or nothing going around the side of that mountain. I was like,
And at first I was concerned because I thought they were tied together. And then I realized, okay, no, they're not tied together, because if one goes down, it's like dominoes. It was not going to be cute.
yeah. Some people are called for certain things, and that is not calling.
I'm passing the baton to TJ.
Before TJ,
yes.
May I, because you all know I've had this whole thing with the thermantidote apparatus, or the air conditioner.
Oh.
So I really have air conditioned, but it was not a simple operation. They kind of had to tear up the wall a little bit because it's a through the wall air conditioned. So they are coming to paint and patch. So that might be in the middle of when I'm talking. So is it okay if I go first, TJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pass the mic to me properly, please.
Terralina, you are.
We are passing the mic to Dr. Tachi, and you're on, Doc.
Yay! Okay, I just had to have you do that. I hope everybody is having a great day. I'm happy because I have air conditioning. And we are going to talk about now, again, writer's strike is still on. SAG is still on. However, the studios have called for a meeting, which actually is supposed to take place today. So I don't have any information more information about that, but they're going to feel the pinch. Now, I was reading an article about the fact that, remember the last time there was a writer's strike, which was 2007, that actually led to the surge in reality television programming that we have today, which is, we could thank the writer's strike for that one, right? Thank or curse.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of these reality shows don't need to exist. But
Thank you.
in any case, we had an influx of reality television because of the writer's strike in 2007. And even though people were expecting that same kind of surge, that's not necessarily happening the same way it did last time. So it's going to be very interesting to watch and see what they do. Already, we're getting ready for fall, and fall is when a majority of shows debut, right? The beginning of the broadcast season basically is fall. So we're in August, so we're looking at late August, early September for things that are supposed to debut that may not debut. And even if they reach some agreement, which, let's be honest, if I'm to look at this, it feels like it's going to be at least till the end of the year before something happens. That's what it feels like. I don't think people want that to happen, but I don't think that the studios, they just came off of saying, basically, let them eat cake, right? They've had this let them eat cake attitude. I've seen several CEOs, several heads of studios saying that we just can't afford to, but your compensation was $50 million. Why can't you afford to do so? I've seen a lot of those types of things where it's the cluelessness of the studios, and they're just very clueless. And let me throw this out here as a talking point. So with SAG-AFTRA, there are about 150 or 160,000 members. I don't remember exactly how many, but 87% of SAG-AFTRA's members, which is the union for actors and voiceover artists, they make less, $26,000 per year or less on SAG-AFTRA jobs.
Wow.
So, yes, it is not a lot. So I
People
think
make more than that at In and Out.
well, no, exactly, which is why so many actors have 2 and 3 jobs to do what they actually love doing, that they're not getting paid well for, even though you put in a lot of out. Let me tell you, it is not, if you've ever been on a set, and you're waiting around to act and do things, particularly if you're not like a principal person, there's a lot of waiting, and it's a long day, especially the average shoot is a 12-hour day, right? And so you're not really being paid accordingly unless you are one of the headliners of the film. So they should be paid equitably. They're not being paid equitably. So yeah, so many have 2 and 3 jobs. And on Mediascope on Wednesday, I actually spoke to an actor. I'm going to have him back, somebody I know who is a member of SAG-AFTRA. He already has another job, right? So that's something that he already has. But people are looking at, especially actors, okay, what in the interim am I going to do? People are, well, you can't wait on them. So this is really going, this whole thing. Go ahead, sorry.
It looks like they're trying to wait them out.
They are. And the management needs to realize that they need labor more than labor needs them. They're doing this because obviously it's a job they love. They're doing it for the good of the field, and they love doing this. But if push comes to shove, I could go get a job someplace else, right? And then you will be for naught. So they have to realize that people come to identify with actors. They have parasocial relationships with them. It is not just about the show. The actors make the show. The writers make the show. Everybody who puts it together makes the show. It's not Netflix. Netflix on its own is a shell. It's only working because it's filled with products made by other people.
Exactly. It's sort of like inviting the family over for home movies and you don't have anything to show. Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly it. You have a home and all the accoutrement of your home, but you said you wanted to have a movie night and you have no movies. Exactly. Now, what are you going to do? Act them all out? It reminds me of that movie. Remember that movie about, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was a movie about Blockbuster, or these guys worked in a video store, and somehow all the videos got erased, so they had to sit there and act out every movie and record it.
No, I do not remember that, but I bet it was hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I can't remember the name of it, but it will come to me. But they were like, oh my God. And so they acted out every single movie and recorded it. So when people came to, that's what that's like, right? You've got a house full of VHS tapes, but you're trying to have a movie night. Where does
I have a question, Dr. Tachi, because this I don't know how this works, and maybe you can enlighten us. Is it possible that they would go to Canada and start filming? Or is it the same union? I mean, do they have the same respect for each other because we're so close together theologically? You know what I mean?
So the Canadian film and television industry is separate. I think that, and there's always a thing, because I grew up across the bridge from Canada. And so knowing this and knowing what was blacked out for us, they do show American shows, obviously. But because of the closest to the border, for most of the people who live in Canada live along the U.S. border. simply because it's also too damn cold in the rest of Canada. Canada is only a country of 40 million people, and the vast majority live along the U.S. border. And so, of course, there is going to be an influx of American content. But because of that, and Canada wanted their own identity when it comes to a film and television industry, there is a certain percentage of productions that must be Canadian produced and have Canadian actors. So there are stipulations there with that so that they can maintain a homegrown industry. So in response to your question, I think it's a separate industry altogether. And what would happen is if it were that easy for you to just transfer over to the Canadian film and television industry, you would end up with an influx of American actors and not very much work for Canada. That is work for them, right? For Canadian actors and Canadian crew. There is the thing where Hollywood and productions shoot in places like Vancouver because it is less expensive, but that is different. That is shooting on location someplace because of expense or the look is different from actually working as an actor in the country. So I don't know the exact stipulations, but my estimation is no, it is not very easy because it is a different country. It is completely different. They may hire an American actor to work on something, but it's not going to be that you could just transfer over. So hopefully that answered.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So you know, and so there are a couple of things. This is really interesting because we went into this a lot, and I was on a show another show on Wednesday where I was not the smartest guys in the room. I was the guest co-host, and this was one of the things that we talked about. And one of the points I brought up with this, and I think I may have probably 2 weeks ago when I was on, talked about the fact that it feels like, and I don't know if you all feel this way, I could be off the mark, but it feels like there is not enough being done to make us, the end user, care about the strike. Now, why should we care? Because they're human beings who are trying to make a living. So on a humanistic level, we should care. But we all know that many people do not behave humanistically. And they're like, well, so what? You all make a lot of money anyway. So I just gave you the statistic of the SAG-AFTRA. So if you're not union, you're not even making that. So case in point, I'm not union, but I'm a voiceover artist. So I get paid one time. And I can I'm still hearing my voice on commercials that I don't get paid for.
Wow.
Now, if that was my main thing, I'd be a little salty, but that's what you agreed to. So because I'm not SAG-AFTRA, there are only about 160,000 members of SAG-AFTRA. With regard to everybody who is an actor, that's not very much, right? There are way more than 160,000 actors and voiceover artists that are not represented. So you can imagine if they're treating union people that way and there is a union scale, if you're not union, forget it.
Wow.
I have a question. Okay, so did I lose my train of thought? Wait a minute. Because I was looking at Mark's comments. I'm sorry. As far as the compensation and the buy-in, that's what I was thinking about. You're saying that the average citizen does not care. The average person streaming these things do not care. Have they asked us to unsubscribe or boycott?
Exactly.
They have not asked us to support them. They have not asked us to buy into this because people would unsubscribe to Netflix or whatever if they ask us, because we can stream something else. We can stream TikTok all day. I don't know, whatever we needed to do if we just hired up for entertainment. But nobody asked.
We're exactly, Carolina, and that was what we talked about on Wednesday as well. You're exactly right. There's the assumption that we're supposed to care. And again, I have a lot of friends that are in the union, and I watch media. So I was like, well, maybe it's just me, but I don't see you all sending out a plea for us to support you in that way. People actually love you and identify with you. If you asked us to support, we would, but you're not making the case as to why we should care and how we can help. It feels like you are just expecting us to support because we watch your shows. And baby, that is not the way it works. We have stuff to do for ourselves as well. So we are not going to sit there and follow your follies through this, especially if you don't make the case for why we should care. I care because you're a human being and you deserve to live and have a livelihood.
I think we all have different reasons for buying, and I care because I used to be a union employee at some point in my life, whether it was scooping ice cream in high school or something. But and so we all have a connection to. Most Americans have a connection and an affinity for unions. Just explain
this. Right. That's not your job to explain this. So what's happening is the rest of us are saying, well, you know what? It's only a matter of time. The television and the media industries is just a microcosm or representative of what labor and management relations in general are. So this could be you tomorrow, and it probably is some people now. But if you don't make that point and make us really care about it and support, why should, because it feels like this. Remember during the pandemic, and please feel free to jump in. I know I'm passionate about this and I'm talking about this. Remember during the pandemic, when nobody could go into a studio, you can't sit next to people. There were 5 zones that you had to pass through, and every person on a production was in a different zone, and that determined how often you had to be tested, whether you needed this, whether you needed that. You could not go on to set, and guess what? Nobody knew what to do. If you were an actor, probably you didn't know how to run your own stuff. So the industry was in chaos because of COVID. Still is reeling a little bit because of COVID, right? What did celebrities do? What did notables do? They turned to social media. They turned on IG Live. They turned on Facebook Live. They got on YouTube Live and started to connect with their audience. And they discovered, this is really cool. I can connect with people. Can anybody tell me, out of all the 10 million celebrities that were on live during the pandemic, how many of them are still doing lives? How many of them are still connecting with their audiences? How many of them are saying, you know what, I appreciate you, thank you? Or did they just, when the world, quote, opened back up, bye, I'll see you later. Bye.
That's what they did.
Yeah, I think D Nice is the only one that's still out there.
Why do you think I am a card-carrying member of Club Quarantine? I will walk through the fire with D Nice, and people talk about you guys are strange. Those of us that follow D Nice, no, it's because he saw his audience, he appreciated us. Not only is he still doing lives on IG Live, he has also expanded it to the real world. In fact, this weekend is Club Quarantine Detroit. So for those of you headed to Detroit, be safe. Have a good time, live stream, because I'm not there, and that's my only requirement, live stream. So he's created a whole...
And he was on Good Morning America this week, this past week.
Between somebody that's a notable and the thing is, too, he is super humble and realizes that his fans are who makes him. He's like one of the only ones that's still doing it. So I'm saying this to say that this is tantamount to the same thing that's going on with the thing. If you get us on board and we fight for you, what you won't do is leave us once things go back to normal and go back to business as usual. Right. Because what's happening now is there are waivers that SAG-AFTRA is giving for independent production, that they've come to agreements with some independent producers to keep production going. You're only not allowed to be on struck sets, meaning where they're striking. So you can't go on news media and do interviews about a project that you're in or any of that stuff. But you can be in independent projects as long as you get a waiver. So what I don't want to see is, as soon as you come to an agreement, because eventually you will come to an agreement, you're just, I don't have to do independent anymore, and you just go on back to ABC, CBS, Fox, or whatever, and you forget about independent. That's what I don't want to see, and that's what I don't like. So, in addition to convincing us to get on board because we should. It is a labor management dispute, and we should be on board with that and support you all. You also, B, need not Tom Cruises of the world to be the face of this, because people don't care, because they already make. You cannot get notables. Yes, they're the face of the industry, but people care less because you're going to be all right whether you speak or not. So you need people who are the face of, I'm teetering between not being okay and not, to speak out against this and make us care. You can support them, but you should not be out front. You can be support behind. Then C, do not abandon the people who make you once the strike is over. Make sure that you are still connecting with them, and make sure that you still ride for independence the way you are riding for them now. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay, because we have some comments here. So let me start where Mark, let me go up to here. Mark says, if you saw the AI generated Madonna version of Kylie's Padam Padam, you can understand the well-founded fears of actors aside from monetary compensation. He said it's terrifying.
It is. And that's the other thing we already know, the AI piece of it, that studios want to be able to, especially for people that are walk-ons, for people that are background actors, to be able to use them one time, record them one time, and use their likeness into perpetuity, into infinity and beyond without compensation, which is stealing. I don't know what other way to put it.
Yeah, there should be.
If I take something that I didn't pay for, do I get to keep using it? No.
There should be royalties. If, you use my likeness or whatever, I think you should, anytime you roll it out, you should be sending me a check.
Yeah.
Mark also says, we will care when our shows won't come back for 2 years.
That right there.
Mm-hmm. And then actually they have asked us not to unsubscribe, because that will actually empower the executives in the long run. We have to care about the creative content to support the talent.
I think that's a bad move, but okay.
Yeah,
Boycott. Ask Montgomery. Boycotts work. Okay.
If you could show them I really don't need you unilaterally, that's they only understand the bottom line. They only
let them have a bad quarter. You let them have a bad quarter. First of all, executives will disappear. They will change the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
They will lower the price to try to woo us back, and they will pay some folks. Okay. And the other thing is, people can decide. Just ask us to subscribe from one thing. We got multiple stuff on us. Just pick one. We don't care which one. If everybody in America dumped one, it'd be
somebody would listen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Carlos says, if you think about it, once pandemic started, they all rushed to get into productions.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I did, something needs to change with the system. And part of this is thoughtful discourse and commentary, and part of it is rant on my part, because I've already started to get tired. Like, I was tired once I started seeing celebrities jumping ship on live streaming because the world was opening back up. I'm like, oh, okay, oh yeah, that's okay. Don't worry, you'll be back. I was kind of like, all right with that. So now this happens, and it's like, what people have to realize is the big equation here is the actors, the writers, the directors, everybody that makes the production go, all the production crew, etc., down to the costume people, every single person. They are important. Yes, the studios are giving a platform because they have access. Okay, that's fine. But nobody is also talking out about and reaching out to the audience. The only reason any of this exists is because somebody watches.
Wow.
So please get us on board with this. So, and do it in the right places, because the thing is, if I'm not hearing enough people talk about it, that means it's not going on. I'm not saying I'm the end all and be all at all, but I am saying that this is what I do. This is what I report on. I pay an awful lot of attention to this. And if I'm not hearing you say something, you're not saying it.
Right. Carlos
still drowned out by today's headlines, which is sucking up all the air. You need to get somewhere where you're not being sucked into the vortex. Go ahead.
Carlos says in some of those, let me put it up there, some of those productions, they were not allowed to go live nor be on some podcasts. He said, I tried. So many had no time or couldn't be live even if they wanted to.
Okay, you know what? You're right to some extent, and that's why, as I was reaching out, because I want to do a conversation about this, and I was reaching out to some people to see what was possible. Can you? And I was told they can go on independent podcasts, go on independent places. They just cannot promote projects that they're in. It boils down to, do you want to? That's all it boils down to. If it is, and I'm not just talking about going on every single podcast, a podcast that, do your due diligence, but reaching out to people and then being told no. Sometimes if you're reaching out to, I shouldn't say too high, but if you're reaching out to a really large person, yeah, it's going to be hard. But there are people that are not really big that, you could talk to that would still have insight on this. So to me, I know people are busy, but your busy is not more important than my busy. I'm just as busy as you are. Stop it. So you can do what you want to do. If you feel it is important for us to know, what you're going to do is not just do a regular circuit tour. You're going to find these podcasts, these live streams, these people that talk about it. And when they reach out to you because they want to give you a platform, you say yes, because you want that position heard. Don't think, you need to stop thinking the Hollywood way of, these are the places that it makes sense to be. And so then you still want us to support when it comes to those things. And believe me, I am on the side of the actors and the writers and everything here. But you also have to look at how you behave and how you treat people, the media outlets you go to. Are you only always going to the same big ones because to you that's what matters? You've bought into the system, and the system will never change if that's the case. So now you want to try the independent thing. You know it works differently with indie, right? Stop being a part of the machine and do something different. Because if you want the average person to care, you have to go where the average person is. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done.
Okay. Carlos also says, I'm in the process of dealing with making strategies on how talent gets compensated, negotiating with investors now, but the monetization in strike is a concern to them.
And so here's the thing, and this is probably not, by the way, let me say hello to Terica and Ope. Hello there in the clubhouse room. So here's the thing. I think that, and it's probably not a popular, it's not a popular contention, but I've been asking this for a couple of years now, or actually probably more than a couple of years. Because of streaming, the proliferation of streaming and things, does the industry overall need to get used to making less? Do we now have to understand that things have shifted? Music industry did it first. They shifted first. When we talked about Napster and stuff back in the 90s, they made that shift first. The time was coming for the music industry first, where they saw things were starting to change. They didn't want it to change, but guess what? People don't care. Change comes when change happens. So do we now, and even though this is not what we want to hear, are we going to have to get used to making less? What's happening with streaming is that people, Netflix, etc., the revenue is less from streaming than it is with traditional television, at least right now. However, you still want the same compensation package as if you are Disney. You can't do that. Do you have to are you okay with 1 million a year instead of 3 million and then the other 75 million being, are you okay with that? So I'm of the belief that we may have to get used to the margins being lower, even if slightly lower, than they were in traditional television and traditional movies, because the industry has shifted. And you can't artificially suppress change in the industry because you don't want the margins to change. It changes whether you do it or not.
Right. And that's what happened here lately with Disney. They laid off a bunch of people because of their salaries, that as far as their ESPN specifically, they made some cuts. And
They did.
And because they're moving, if I read this correctly, and you can make sure I'm saying this correctly, they are moving to their own streaming for ESPN rather than relying on the cable network.
Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely correct. So that was the big thing that I wanted to talk about. There are other things, but I want to yield the rest of the time to TJ to go, unless you all have some other things that.
Well, did we read all of Carlos's comments about the?
Yes, we did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He just put up a couple more. He said streaming is worse than that, and productions are getting sold without paying the talents.
Wow.
Exactly. Again, here's the thing. I think people don't understand, and Carlos is spot on. I think people don't understand what streaming is. So I think that the gall and the lack of education and critical thought by some of these studios, I don't get it. I'm like, do you just really not want to know? You must not want to know. I don't understand, because it's very simple maths. Very simple maths. The revenue is not going to be the same. All you have to do is look at it on the surface and you can see the revenue is not going to be the same. So why are you going in with the pretense of, oh, it's going to be the same, there's all the same money and money and money, and it's not. So you have to be upfront at the beginning. Look, this does not make as much money as XYZ.
Right.
So if you want to work on this production, this is going to be a lower budget, and this is what we can pay.
Right.
Be upfront at the beginning. But the thing is, they went in with the pretense of doing the same thing that the industry always does, and now you're suffering for it. Now you have to lay people off. Now you have to cut productions. Now you're artificially getting rid of things after a season one if they don't seem to fly, because in traditional television, things could have a little bit of time to grow wings and get people to like it. Now you can't afford to let things grow wings, so you get rid of it right away. Be upfront with what the industry, or do you know what the industry is? Let me just start there and end there. Do you even know what this industry is, or are you trying to make it what you want it to be? I'm done.
Okay, Carlos has a couple of.
They could sell more popcorn though.
Carlos says they are not reporting viewership to the talents, so they don't know if they are being fairly compensated. And then he says, since I built a platform, I'm trying to see how I can build tools that permit the talent to keep up.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. I think the fairest thing, because Carlos has a platform, I have a platform, Ross Brand has a platform. There are many of us doing this. The best thing we could do for talent is to be upfront with them in terms of what this actually is. Because I think too, so many people, the people who know in the industry know, but if you're getting into the industry as an actor or whatever, and you're like, oh, I want to sell my show to Netflix. I've heard people say that all the time. You know, Netflix doesn't pay that well, right? Especially if you're somebody that's not well known. So people have this misconception, A, that all actors make a lot of money, B, that everybody who works in Hollywood makes a lot of money, and C, that if you sell your script or whatever to a big studio, you're going to make a lot of money. And that's not always the case. There are so many factors that go into that, but people they want to be in the industry, but you're not reading the trends in the industry. How are you going? It's like when I was teaching a broadcast journalism class, and I asked some of my students, so what do you want to do in broadcast journalism? And they said, well, I think I want to be an anchor. I said, okay, that's great, but most of the time you don't start off anchoring. You start off as a reporter. What are your favorite newscasts? Oh, I don't watch the news. You want to be an anchor, yet you don't watch the bloody news. How does that work? So I say the same thing to the people who want to come into entertainment industries and you don't watch TV. You don't really watch movies, or I don't have time to watch movies. How do you know what's out there if you don't do this? And the biggest thing is people don't read the industry trends. Why do you not read what's going on with your own field? That makes absolutely no bloody sense to me. None. So I'm sorry, I'll end there, but you have to be aware of what's happening in the industry. It's not just those of us that are on the platform building side. You too, actors, because that's also me, filmmakers, that's also me. Everybody across the board, know what your industry is doing so you know how to approach it. And I know it feels like I'm scolding you. Good. You should feel scolded because I want you to be better. Be more. There we go.
Right.
Jerry.
All right. So 2 more comments by Carlos. He says, Hollywood may not like it, so I'm trying to allow independents to work with us more, create a parallel Hollywood. Problem, the high-end talents want better compensations. And he says, no, I have the infrastructure, not just a platform. I host platforms, so the tools are from the ground level. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Really quickly, Carlos, it is not a problem that the high-end talent don't want. The thing is, again, it's changing the narrative and thinking differently. There are high-end people that are fantastic. There are some people that, actors, etc., that people have never heard of that are even better. Simply because you are well-recognized does not mean you are the best. And obviously, I'm in love with entertainment industries. I love actors. I love everybody across the board. And there's some great people out there. But guess what? Social media has shown me that there are people out there that are even better than the people we see. So it's not a problem. They're out there, Carlos. You just have to think differently about this narrative, and I know you will. All right. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. Appreciate your time and appreciate your insights and keeping us abreast. TJ, you have the floor.
I had my mic on. Hold on. And my earphones on so I can hear better.
We can hear you.
Okay, good. All right, making sure because I was listening very intently. Very important topic. And there's a lot of things that they're just starting to begin to do. SAG AFTRA, Hollywood and everything. So I will say that the industry is in a turmoil similar to the music industry. Like when Dr. Taji brought up Napster, that was the whole thing. They're going through their thing now. They're going through their Napster situation, digital music now. So we shall see. All right. So this week of social media news and updates. Let's start with Snapchat. Let me get to it. Snapchat aims to entice AR creators with a new lens renewal program. So Snapchat has announced something called Lens Creator Rewards. It's a new program that pays augmented reality creators who make popular lenses. So lenses is when you go into the app and you get the little puppy, the dog ears and the cat thing and the makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the Lens Creator Rewards. So they are going to give new and existing Lens Studio members up to $7,200. I don't know. Oh, this is per month. If their creation is the top performing lens in the United States, India, and Mexico, and they're saying it's not sure if each amount will be the same or how many people can get awards each month. Users from almost 40 countries can participate, and they have on their website the eligibility details. So here's the quote. This program is designed to celebrate the most creative lenses that help Snapchatters express themselves and have fun with friends, from imaginative new looks to try on to amazing AR scenes they can explore. So they're saying Lens Studio members have already created more than 3 million lenses, and these have been viewed more than 5 trillion times. So they're saying anyone can download the app and start creating these AR lenses. So does that sound like something good for Snapchat?
We
Sounds like
shall
a
see.
winner for the lens creators.
Yeah, the lens creators, yes, that sounds good for them,
So
especially.
that's a big part of what's a big part of Snapchat's appeal is the visual changes that you can make to your face. They have a really cool one that will take your photos from your camera roll
Mm-hmm.
and animate them. Like they're
Oh,
talking and they put music on it. I've seen that one. But there's lots of good stuff in there. So that is what Snapchat is up to. Now let's move on to LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been doing a lot of things with AI, and can you guess why? Anybody?
okay.
Who owns LinkedIn?
People,
Oh,
people need to
Microsoft owns them.
And what is Microsoft doing?
They're putting their
With
stuff, okay, because Microsoft also is a part of OpenAI.
Mhm.
AI, yes. So that's a big thing with LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is testing Microsoft's AI art generator to design posts for social media. So this AI generator is called Microsoft Designer, and it's supposed to be their Canva competitor. I haven't looked at it. I will look at it today. So it allows users to generate unique visual posts right on LinkedIn. So they're testing this Microsoft Designer on the platform. With the integration, users will be able to create unique visual assets within LinkedIn. So this will provide generative AI tools within your post creation flow in the app, enabling you to create visual elements based on text prompts, while you'll also be able to use templates, create GIFs, however you pronounce it, generate videos, all without having to leave the app. So they're saying that Microsoft launched Designer last year. So I haven't heard of it.
I hadn't
I
heard
don't
of it
remember
either.
anybody. So I'm gonna check it out. I think it's a part of I think you have to have Microsoft 365 or something. I'm not sure. We have to check. But here's what you can do in LinkedIn with this AI integration. Create a design based on custom prompts. You can select an image to generate similar designs. Upload your own images to generate designs with them included. You can follow prompts to create new designs by adding templates, rich media, text, brand kits, etc. So they're saying that this is going to be a perfect complement for LinkedIn, because once you go into LinkedIn, it's like, well, what do I create? So they're giving you the idea with this Microsoft Designer integration. So their LinkedIn is currently testing the integration with select users, and I'm going to do this live. I think you're supposed to go to LinkedIn on the app, and there should be a button if you're part of the group, the beta group. So I think you go to the app, and I think you create a post, and then there should be some buttons at the bottom. Okay, I don't see anything. All right, I don't have it. So if you want to check your LinkedIn, there should be a button at the bottom that looks like a wand or something. I saw the picture of what you're supposed to see. I'm not part of the beta group, so.
Hmm.
All right, so that's LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Let's move on to YouTube and Google.
Okay.
YouTube. Now, YouTube has been doing a lot of things. They got a new CEO, so I expect a lot of things to be coming from them this whole year. So YouTube is testing AI generated video summaries in stream. So they're going to add new AI generated video summaries that are designed to help users better understand the context of clips. Here's the quote from YouTube. We're starting to test AI auto generated summaries on YouTube so that it's easier for you to read a quick summary about a video and decide whether it's the right fit for you. To begin with, you may see these summaries on watch and search pages. While we hope these summaries are helpful and give you a quick overview of what a video is about, they do not replace video descriptions, which are written by the creators. So they're saying that if you go to the watch page or search, you search for something on YouTube, I'm assuming that you're going to see this AI summary, which helps you decide if you want to watch the video or not.
Okay.
So I think that's what they're doing. So they want to highlight more relevant content matches by using the summaries as a guide to what you want. If you go looking for a video about something more specific, the new summaries could eventually enable YouTube to show you better matches based on refined parameters and what's actually included in clips, as opposed to just titles and user-created descriptions. So this experiment is again, experiment, limited number of English language videos only. So I like what they said about better matches as opposed to, because when you go to YouTube, you see the thumbnail and the title.
Right.
And all the YouTube experts, gurus say that that's where you put your most effort in. You create the best video you can, but the most effort to get people to watch is always the title and the thumbnail.
Right.
So now YouTube is adding in these AI summaries of the video so that it gets rid of clickbait.
Oh, good. Let us do that.
Right, because see, people will do a thumbnail and the title, and then you get to the video, it's something not related to what you clicked on.
Correct.
So you get angry and you move away from the video, you close the app. Well, YouTube doesn't want that. They want you to stay on YouTube. So the people that make the videos where the title and the thumbnail match the content, and now this AI, and you won't be able to control it because it's AI. It'll go in and
do a summary.
captions, right? So you can't make a video and say, well, I'm gonna do a clickbaity title and video, but it's something boring.
Right, because so this sounds like when you ask Chat GPT or another AI to summarize this video for me, where people, like if you want them to summarize a book or summarize something,
right?
They summarize it for you, and if you ain't got nothing in that video that's supposed to,
right, it has to match. And see, that's when a user is, if they're on YouTube or Google, because remember, you can search on Google and it goes into YouTube videos. I'm looking for a specific thing. So if I go into the YouTube video and it doesn't give me that, I as the user is going to be upset and not close the app or close the browser. And then YouTube is like, wait a minute, what's going on? We had somebody that was in here looking for something, they didn't find what they wanted. So YouTube is trying to stop that. So
well, I like that. I still like that, because now when I'm looking at a video, I know what if they're going to answer my question.
Right, but see, this is even before you look at the video. It's going to be when you see the title and the thumbnail and the AI summary. Probably
right. And that's what I'm talking about. So I can read that before I even
before you even watch the video. Because see, people are doing clickbaity stuff. So this is why we're having it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because now I can do a search and then see a bunch of videos and go, well, which one? And then I can probably hover over, or something will pop up saying, this is the summary, a couple of sentences. This is the summary of the video, like what's actually being talked about. So I can go, okay, that's the one I want. And then everybody's happy. So good times, good things coming for YouTube. They're slowly rolling out little things like this. There's another story they have about shorts, but what was I going to say about this? About AI. I'm done.
All right. Mark had a couple of comments. One of them was relating to what Dr. Tachi was talking about, and then I'll go right on. He says the core issue, the lack of morality, profits over people, the American way. Netflix is soliciting candidates for an AI engineer with a salary of $900,000, but we don't have enough to pay writers or actors.
I saw that article.
Right. And
did
then
you have another comment?
Yeah, he says, I get that AI prompt for LinkedIn posts, but I've never tried it. So Mark,
really?
You could be our little guinea pig. Go out there and see what happens.
Yeah, try it out. Let me know. Let us know, because I don't have that one. This is the one to make images. I think we all have the one for text. But
Right.
this was more graphic images. Like making, instead of going to Canva, they want to keep you inside of LinkedIn, which is, that's the objective. Keep
Mhm.
you in the app. All right, so one more about YouTube. So they're adding more TikTok like features to shorts. So
Okay.
all the things that you see in TikTok when you make videos, you're going to start seeing you see them in Instagram a little with Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, and now YouTube Shorts,
YouTube
because
Shorts.
they want you to come over. They want you to come over to YouTube and make your quick videos inside. So they're adding a collab feature, which will enable you to record a short in a side-by-side format with other YouTube or Shorts videos. Now, this collab feature, I've seen it in Reels, and I've seen it in TikTok. So you do a side-by-side.
Is that like the duo thing?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
duo, side-by-side, remix. There's different words.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying this is a direct copy of TikTok's duet feature.
There you go.
Right,
Mhm.
duet. So they're saying that they want to incorporate more TikTok tools in the app. Here's a quote: creators can choose from multiple layout options to easily join in with a split screen format. Just hit remix, then collab to remix an eligible short or YouTube video. Now, why is this collab such a thing in all of the apps? It's because it's like hitching your wagon to something that's fast moving, like popular. So you get a little bit of that shine. You
Okay.
get a little bit of engagement when you hitch on. So say like Gary Vee does his videos and he's everywhere. So if you go and use the collab feature or remix or whatever the app is calling it, you will get some of his followers because he's a popular guy.
Right.
So anybody that's popular, influencers, anything like that. But it has to be something that's relevant to what they're saying, because if you just say you hop onto a Gary Vee video and then you do something about cake decoration, those things don't match. So the person's going to leave again, just like we were saying about the YouTube AI title with adding it to the title and the thumbnail. They want you to stay in the app.
Right.
That's what all of these things are about. Okay, so they have also they're going to do live streaming and vertical display format. So here's the quote. So they're saying viewers in the test will see previews of vertical live videos mixed into the shorts feed. As someone taps into the experience, which means that they're looking at the video, they'll be placed in a scrollable feed of other live videos. So they're also going to make shorts creation easier by adding new shortcuts that will link a viewer through to the camera composer with the audio from the short that they were viewing applied, so they can use that as a template. So now they're putting templates in, because Reels is doing that. When you're in Instagram Reels and you see, you're watching a reel, it'll say, oh, do you want to use the template of this reel to make your own? Because they realize that people are having difficulty starting a reel.
Right.
Right. What do I do? So they're doing that also in shorts. So what they're doing in TikTok moved over to Instagram, and now it's in shorts.
Okay. Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. This is, as usual, all great info. So, and this is not necessarily shorts related, but it could be too. With Reels, I know that there was a kind of a de-emphasis, right, with Reels as they shift things around over at Instagram. How is that having an effect on things like shorts? I mean, TikTok has its own ecosystem, but how's that having an effect on things like shorts over at YouTube?
Okay, repeat that. I didn't hear the part at the beginning.
Oh, well, I was just mentioning the fact that Reels is that Instagram has kind of walked back the importance of Reels.
Oh.
You remember before it was all Reels, and now it's kind of walked back the importance. But is that having an effect on YouTube Shorts at all? The fact that Instagram kind of has walked back the importance of it.
It could be a little bit, but I'll tell you what, with Instagram, they say one thing, but they do another. Because they said they walked back because of the splashback or feedback that they got. Everybody was angry about the photos. Remember, they said, "Oh, we're not going to put emphasis on photos."
Exactly.
And then they was like, it's gonna be all real. They had to walk that back. But honestly, my gut feeling is that they haven't.
Mm.
Reels is still important. They're just
Right.
so for some reason, short video makes people angry on Instagram.
Really?
So yeah, so
Hmm.
psychologically, come out. The CEO Adam comes out and says, "Oh, we're gonna, I'm like, no, because in the background, there's different algorithms going on. So I don't think so. I think Reels is still important. They're not pushing it as much. They've learned Instagram has learned to keep quiet. Because
Really?
do you hear TikTok going this, that, and the other? No, they're just quiet. So I think that's what's going on. That Reels is still important over Instagram. It's just that the CEO learned not to say that because Reels brings out the anger in users.
Hmm.
You
Now,
just
does
you
that
just don't.
does that answer a little bit?
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
wondering what effect, if any, that was having on short form video on other platforms, because I know TikTok is always big, obviously, but
Right.
next in line was really like Reels in terms
Right.
of importance
But
of
see,
short form video.
right. But see, now YouTube, I just mentioned this, YouTube has a new CEO. So there's a different direction, which means that they are putting more effort into their short form video because they realize that a snack is better than making a full course meal on YouTube. Does that make sense?
Right.
So
And-
a YouTube short is a snack.
right.
15 seconds, right? 15, 30, 60 seconds, boom, I'm in and out. So YouTube knows their users. They know their ecosystem. So by them adding in shorts, it's not like that's their bread and butter. That's the snack. That's the appetizer.
Right. And sometimes for me, they will, like, somebody will come on and do, hey, did you know the iPhone can do this? And they'll do it in a short where I didn't have to go swim through the entire YouTube video. It was in a short. You do this, and they did a screen
Shot.
recording and
Right.
went through it, and it was in 15 seconds or less.
Right. So YouTube is realizing the value of a quick snack
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
versus they still have the meal, the long form video, but they're like, here's a snack. And some Gen Z likes a snack.
Right. Go ahead,
And-
Dr. Tachi.
Go ahead.
So, in your opinion, just really quickly, is it worth it to pretend compensation was like not the thing? For we already know that they've lowered the requirements for the YouTube creator program, so now it's just 500, I believe, and less view hours. So more people have access to the creator program through YouTube. But even if that were not the case, do you think that it's worth it to make short form video, especially if you're already a long form video person?
Yeah, I do. For YouTube, yes, because we have to realize that honestly, I don't pay attention to the partnership program. I don't pay attention to what did Reels had a compensation thing. If you made this many, you got this much money. YouTube had their shorts. If you had this many views, you get this much money. Because I don't see social media like that. There's influencers see that. If I go out and churn out videos, Instagram will give me a check, YouTube will give me a check. That's not how I see it. I see the platform as you're making content to connect to an audience, and then you have a product, a service, something to offer to them for sale, and it's easy because you're making the content, you're educating them.
Yeah,
So
I like the little tips that I get from various people on productivity, how to do something in tech or whatever, and I'm not there all day long.
Right.
And it works. At least it works for me.
It works because if you're making it's a whole eco world it's something that I'm working on in the back of my head as far as like training and stuff. But it's you're going to make content. I keep bringing up Gary, but Gary has a saying called platforms and culture, and it means that what are the people doing now? How do they use the platforms? How do you tie it in together to build your brand, your business? Does everybody get that one I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't pay attention to Snapchat spotlight. If you make 100,000 views, you get $5. I don't pay attention to that at all. But there are influencers that do, and I'm like, nobody should pay attention to the carrot, that little tiny carrot that they dangle in front of you. Because I think something happened with Meta this week and Instagram, and one of their programs was a glitch and it didn't pay something weird. And I'm like, that's not how we should be doing it, because they want us to do that. Instagram wants you to make content, and they dangle that little carrot of, what is it, a penny a view? So I don't know, some crazy number. So that's why I like talking about Mario, because Mario talks about sponsorship and brand deals. He does not talk about getting into these programs and making views, 1 million views and getting paid. He's like, no, you make content, you connect with the brand or the company, and you guys make a deal. The platform is the delivery system to an audience. That's all it is to me. And that's how he says it. Something's on my face. Sorry. That's how he says it too. It's in my sorry. It's something bothering me. Okay. That's how he says it. And that's the thing that I go, I'm sorry, guys. It's like a hair. And when I open my mouth, it's bothering. I got it. So that's how he sees it. And when Gary said platform the culture, that connected for me. So it's a platform, a delivery system. And I don't look at it as, okay, if I make shorts, I'm going to get paid from YouTube, even though they do that. But I hear a lot of people complaining about that's not enough money unless you're Mr. Beast.
So what I hear you saying is that you make content for the people who are following you, not necessarily going for the carrot or the money. You make the content to put it out there to, bring value to the people who are following.
Yes. Content. I love that. Content for the people. Exactly. So I'm like, and this is why I talk about generations. If Gen Z like TikTok, and those are my people, I'm going to be on TikTok, regardless of whether I like it or not. And all of the, I know the China issues we talk about, blah, 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 but there's ways to get around that in order to build your brand, so maybe you can move them off of TikTok. But Gen Z is stuck on TikTok. YouTube is trying to get them to come over to YouTube more, even though that's where they go to consume content. They're not creating content as much on YouTube. So that's why they made the shorts. So again, if my group is Gen Z or millennials or whatever, I'm going to try to go to like YouTube, because they've got the most tools and the most views and the most, as far as engagement.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So short form video is snackable. It's like, you eat it and it's gone. And if you can the key is to make them quickly, to not put thought into it. That's why ChatGPT is around. That's why you use the AI tools to make something real quick, drop it and move on. And then especially with YouTube, you're going to make long form content for the older crowd or whoever wants to consume that, because you can use YouTube for that. Instagram a little bit, but not so much as YouTube. YouTube is a more fully formed system of, it has everything and they keep adding pieces on, which makes me happy. And then they got new direction. So that's how I see it. I know a lot of people don't see it. They want to go towards the hot popular thing.
Wait. We need to keep the fashions that are tried and true throughout, the staples, and not necessarily go for the trends, right, or the okay.
Right. Yeah. So that's why we say, what's your audience? What age group are they in? Are they baby boomers? Are they Gen X? Are they millennial, young millennial, old millennial? Are they zillennials? Are they Gen Z, or even Gen Alpha? Because that will tell you where you need to put your most effort in. But YouTube is the all around, and we've talked about that a lot on Tuesday, right, Fran? We talked about that's why I show you the numbers. YouTube is the all around top of the top for everybody.
Right.
And here's another thing I think we talked about. YouTube is getting older people to come over, like for TV, like just to watch. So think about that in terms of media. Where do you want to be? Like, what channel has the most viewers? That's where you want to be. What channel has the most overall 18 to 80 viewers? That's where you want to be. A lot of older people are not on Instagram. They may go over eventually, but not like they're going to go to YouTube, because Instagram is what? Millennial, old Gen Z vibe. So they're not going to want to be there.
And YouTube, you do not need to have an account to watch.
You don't need an account. You can have a TV. You don't have to watch on a computer. You don't have to watch on the phone. It's the overall thing that has the slow and steady growth. That's why I always look for YouTube is slow and steady growth. It's not flashy. People don't get confused by it. All the things that Fran brought up. Instagram confuses people. That's why they did Threads as a separate app, because the CEO realized they could not stick Threads into Instagram. It would have blown up.
Too much stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. We already in the weeds with Facebook and
right. So that's a little bit. I mean, I hope that gives you like a direction of like, that's my opinion. So other people have other things to say. I mean, because there's lots to talk about X, and I see all the people that I follow. Oh, X is going to be the biggest thing ever. It's going to be great. And I'm like, what are y'all smoking?
It is still Twitter. Okay.
So that's a little bit of where my head is. So. Okay.
Oh, we don't have any. That's it.
What? No, I did for the question.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait.
No, for the question that Dr. Tachi answered.
Oh, Dr. Tachi, did she answer your question?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That I figured out that I went over. But I mean, these are the things that I think about and focus on and read about every day, all day. So it's always here in my head. All right. So more from Google. Let's look at Google. This is not social media, but I think we need to know. Google has a new, it's not a Google app. It is from some people who worked at Google, former employees of Google, and they worked on a Gmail alternative while they were at Google.
Oh.
So they left Google, and now they have released the new Google. It's email like Google, but it's not Google. It's called Shortwave. It's an email app. It started out on iOS. Now they've announced that it is available on Android. So now this slipped under my radar, and I installed it today. I'm going to play with it today. So if you don't like what's going on with Google when you use the app for your mail, try this Shortwave. So they're saying it was 18 months of beta test, and it is now on Android devices, which is a good thing. They're saying the basic version is free to use. You need to pay a $9 monthly subscription to unlock premium features. So this, again, I said the Shortwave was developed by a group of former Google employees to fill the gap left after Google shut down its innovative Gmail alternative. So they were working on an alternative app to Gmail, which would let you work with your mail. Now, this is going to have, of course, AI in it.
Yeah.
It's got AI in it. So it allows you to, you'll have a sweep button for marking emails all at once, AI-powered smart replies, options to quickly pin, snooze, archive, and delete mails. You can also ask AI to summarize threads, translate, and draft reply. Threads as far as in your inbox, you're replying to somebody, you're going back and forth with messages. That's called the thread in email. So you can even write your prompts and see what the AI can do to help. So it will have AI in there. So they're saying that the free version has some limitations. It will restrict users to 90 days of searchable email history. You, of course, if you want to search back 2 years, you've kept your email that long, a year, you want to pay the $9 a month. So there is, if you go to Shortwave, I believe it's shortwave.com, and I do have it. Hold on, let me.
It's shortwave.com.
Yeah, let me bring it up because I wanted to show it to you. And I just thought that was innovative, and I was like, well, let me see.
Well, here's the rub. They asking you to sign in with Gmail. I was like, so. What is that?
Okay, so can everybody see that? Is it showing up? All right. So this says, let me go back so I can read it. Android 1.0, the best of Google Inbox reincarnated. So this is what they're saying. So it's the best features from Google Inbox, and they're saying that it has delivery schedules and bundles, pin snooze and done, all kind of things that you wanted to do in Gmail, which Google was working on, but they, Google abandons their products. They do. So Google Plus, anybody? They just abandon, they just drop the toy whenever they're tired of it. So these ex-employees picked it up and decided to create the app. Well, they didn't exactly pick it up because of course the code belongs to Google, but they probably worked on it and have some idea of, okay, we can make our own without getting into trouble with Google. So they call this shortwave. So I'm going to try this out because they've got some tools and I want to see what they have. So they said they have block spy trackers, AI summaries, granular push control. You can control how your email alerts pop up, all kind of things. So you might want to take a look at it, which I will, and you can see.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
So is this only an email client?
Right. This is email. This is like Google, your Google inbox.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah. So it came out iOS and now it's Android, is why I'm talking about today, because I didn't see this before. So they're saying it was in 18 months of beta testing, which I hadn't heard of it. So I'm always with my phone when I'm working. I suppress all notifications, like, because I'm working. Because when I have my iPad on my phone, something always popping up, and on the Mac, on my computer, something pop up. You're in the middle of working on something and something, takes your eye away, it kind of breaks your concentration. So I always suppress everything. So I want to see how this works as far as like how it lets you, suppress things and group things in your inbox. So I just wanted to bring it up just in case, you have your Gmail, you use the app for your mail on your device, and I believe it might be on the desktop too. I didn't check yet. But,
it says desktop.
Ooh, okay, so there you go.
Okay. So you have to download it. It's not like in the App Store for the Mac.
Okay.
So let me see what happens.
Yeah, so take a look. I just discovered it today and I was really excited. I was like, okay, let's add this because it's not really social media, but it is tech. It is, part of tech for the week.
Yes.
So we brought that up. No Twitter news or X news or whatever they're calling themselves today. They're saying
they talked about you could
listen. Musk says that he has more users than Threads, and I'm like,
yeah, okay.
He said you can hide your blue check or something.
Whatever. He controls. It's private, so he can say whatever he wants about engagement and users. There's no way to check because it's not private. So I don't really care to hear what he says. So he's saying that he's got more engagement than Threads. Whatever.
Does it matter if he has more or not?
No, because it's a war now. It's a war between him and Mark Zuckerberg and between X and Threads
and get some news. He's just trying to get some
I think that's notoriety. Because
listen, people are leaving left and right. I put up a story yesterday that they're going on the App Store and Google Play and giving it the X app, giving it 1 star, bad reviews. People are leaving. People are jumping off. It's
on X.
Yeah, off of X. People not using it. The only people that are there are the MAGA people, the people that follow Trump, and all those
angry people.
Those kind of
people. There are. I still have some people that I was following. They're still there and they're posting their stuff.
They're hoping and praying that
for business and for right. Their stuff is still there.
Right.
For their followers who may have not moved yet. And
right. So I'm just saying it's not a place to be business wise. I don't advertisers aren't the only advertisers that are there, Cheech and Chong. And it's like, what is the channel that shows all those weird commercials. The old people. Say the blue blockers commercials and the weird items.
Oh, you mean the stuff that comes on after 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, that's what. Those are the kind of advertisers that X has now. It does not have Procter and Gamble and Apple and this. It doesn't have the cachet of advertisers. It is now. What is that channel? I'm trying to think of the channel's name. That shows the old shows, the old shows, and they have
on TV.
So those are the kind of advertisers that are there. So
that's what he gets.
What's that?
Dr. Tachi.
Which is it?
She said
that's what he gets.
Yes, that's what he gets. He deserves it. So now, also people have been sharing that they don't like the X on their phone. The people that still use it, the X app on their phone. So they created a shortcut. You can use on iOS. You use shortcuts. You make a shortcut to the X app, and then you change it with the Twitter icon. So people have been sharing that information. The ones that want to stay have changed the icons on their phones, so it looks like the Twitter bird instead of the X.
I have never heard of a bigger waste of time.
Thank you.
You
just leave.
A pig, it is still a pig. What kind of rubbish is that?
Just leave. Just leave. Don't use it.
Exactly. Just leave. If you really have a fundamental problem with it, leave. I'm not going to sit there and spend time and do a hack to change it to the birding. What? Oh.
So they're going to the App Store, leaving 1-star reviews, leaving negative reviews, changing the icon on their phone, and still using it. But that is a small subset of a pool where you don't want to be. Musk can say what he can say. He's got 1,000 engagement. He could say I got 100 million people engaged. There's no way to fact check. He's 45. There's no way to fact check. Well, there is a way to fact check him, but I'm just saying there's no way to fact check what Musk says. So I
really don't care. I'm talking out. For me, I'm talking to the people like what's her name? Linda. From she posts about bonnets and her
right, but I got her on Instagram though, so she's good to move over to Instagram. So
right, I know, but she still posts her stuff,
right,
and again, because I've learned here that I can curate my feed and I don't have to see crazy if I don't want to. So I follow Linda, and sometimes I get a little notification. Oh, Linda did such and such. Okay. Right. I'm not seeing all of the
wonderfulness,
the whole hullabaloo that's going on over there.
What's going on with the feed on X is that is a post and an ad, a post and an ad, a post and an ad, a post and an ad. And that's not the world I want to live in.
Right.
It used to be a post, ad. It used to be 10 posts and an ad, or whatever the number was. Now it's 1 post, 1 ad, and it's the same ad because they made a meme about it. Cheech and Chong selling their gummies. Every ad is a post and then Cheech and Chong post and they made a joke about it. That's how relevant it is. So there's not a lot of quality advertising on X. And I say if anybody wants to, if you want to hang out there.
Yeah,
it's just on
you. You always learn to go where your audience is.
There's no way to tell the numbers because he's going to inflate them because he's got a complex, a thing, whatever. So he's going to inflate his numbers and say, "Oh, X is great, and the advertising dollars are up, and he got a new CEO. I heard he doesn't let the new CEO do anything." And so it's not a thing I want to talk about anymore because nobody's talking about it and everybody's leaving. So, but if you want to stay on X, I've seen a couple people that I follow on Facebook and Instagram talking about how great X is and it's going to do wonderful things because he's going to make it a WeChat and he wants your financial information and it's going to be banking and it's going to be a a bold new world in social media is what I heard.
Good for you, big brother.
You can let Elon Musk in your bank account.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
here's the thing. There are two places that I will never do banking from. Meta
mhm.
and whatever X is. I'm not, no. There's just no.
Yeah, so there's some people that are still holding out hope that Musk is going to turn X into something or the place to be. But I'm telling you, I've been saying it. You can go back and see. I've been saying it from that. This is not going to happen.
Right.
The
So
signs are there.
I just know I still think he wants it to go away, and he's just doing stuff to
You know
make
what?
it go away.
I spent some time trying to figure out why he's doing this, and right now I've gotten to the point where I just
Don't care.
it's done. The Twitter's dead.
And
Twitter's
it's
dead.
really, and like Dr. Tachi said, where do you want to spend your time and effort? It is not in me changing the blue bird back to the, okay, I need to be doing something else more productive with my time.
Okay.
And so, no.
Figuring out YouTube, growing on YouTube.
Right. I moved from TikTok because I don't know what the future holds with them and national security. So I'm just like, let me stay with people that at least appear to have a stronger footing. So I'm gonna stick with Instagram. I'm gonna stick with
right. We only got 2 arms and 2 legs. We can't be sticking them in every app. So
no, and just
do
stay
a couple
with
and
Instagram and Threads. And I saw something on another app. I'm like, please don't bring that over here. I don't care about indictments and all kind of crap. I want to know about business. I want to know about social media. I want to know about what's happening, with regard to the business climate, not just. I don't want to do political.
All right, so I got a couple more. So let's just
okay.
We'll get through it. TikTok is doing. Speaking of TikTok, they have their algorithm will be optional in Europe. They will be able to switch off the personalized algorithm behind the For You and live feeds because of the EU Digital Services Act. They have a GDPR. They have different privacy laws in Europe. So they're saying disabling the function will show users popular videos from both the places where they live around the world instead of content based on their personal interests. This is only in Europe. Also, in European users between the ages of 13 and 17 automatically won't be targeted with personalized ads based on their online activities, rather than having to opt out with a toggle like here. Like over here in the United States, you have to opt out of this, opt out of that. European Union says no. If they're between 13 and 17, you cannot target them at all. So this is another side of where Meta is getting into trouble over there as far as the things that they do here. So that is the news from TikTok. And speaking of Meta, Meta is developing AI chatbots with over 30 different personalities.
Uh-oh. Why does Sybil come to mind? Okay.
So here's the deal. Meta has dropped the and they had their earnings call this week and everything.
They did good.
They did good. What Meta is doing is they're moving away from the metaverse. They're still there, but now they're going all in on AI because the last time we talked about it, Meta has their own large language model to compete with ChatGPT and Bing.
Mm-hmm.
So Meta is putting some effort into generative AI. So they're doing the AI chatbots. I think we talked about the avatars. I think Terralyn and I, we talked about why would they want it, because you can go on video and have it move and you don't have to show your face.
Right.
So they're moving into AI chatbots and large language models, generative AI. So they're saying that they're doing it with a range of different personas in this new AI chatbot tools. This will be available in Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram. The personas would range from recreations of historical figures like Abraham Lincoln to more stereotypical characters, a surfer that provides travel advice. So they're doing 30 different AI personalities, and they're saying that you'll be able to summon these AI chatbots within your DM threads by sending a question to AI. Go ahead.
So then, if I want to make a video and I want to be Sojourner Truth,
You
when
could
I
be
pull her
Sojourner
up
too.
and she starts talking,
Yes.
okay, just like I would my avatar.
Yes.
When when I want to send a video message with my avatar
Now,
on, on my iPhone.
Yes. You
Okay,
you'll be able to go on and do a
choose
live
that
or do a
face.
whatever as
Choose
whoever
that
character
face.
you want to be. Anybody.
I've seen this on Instagram Reels. I saw Reels of this old man talking, and it was AI. He was an AI generated image,
Face.
Yeah.
and he was, um, I guess, reading whatever the caption was. He was talking with the caption, and they said it was AI generated, and it
Right.
wasn't him. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean, because there are tools outside of Meta right now you can use right now to create what Fran is saying. It creates an AI graphic video and the mouth moves and everything, and you can use AI voice, and it's you can make video content that's not even you. You just put the
Right.
text in, and
Right.
it will make the graphic person. It could
Right.
and I've even seen ones where you could upload a picture of yourself and it will be yourself talking, but it won't be you. You can put up a still photo and it makes the mouth move and eyes and everything. You put in the text and it generates the voice.
Okay, see, that is just like way creepy, which means people you can't trust video anymore.
Right.
Exactly, which is a real problem.
Yes,
I
that's
mean,
that's a problem. I was reading before, and I don't know if I mentioned it, that the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, he's aware of this and he's working on I want not Bitcoin. What is the B word?
Bing?
No. No, not Bing. Why am I saying Bitcoin? It's another
like a watermark or something to.
Yes, it's watermark, but it's based on what's the crypto? It's a crypto technology that starts with a B. I am not getting it.
Oh,
It is not Bitcoin. It's something with a B. He's using that technology to watermark everything so you'll know if it's AI generated or not.
thank
Okay.
God for
He's
Jesus.
working on that right now. I
Okay.
think I read about it last week. So we'll talk about that when there's more. But he's
Okay.
working on it and he's using the technology and it starts with a B and I cannot get it.
It's not Bard. We're not talking about Bard. No.
No, technology, not Bard is Google.
Is Google.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm thinking Bitcoin. It's something with a B. And it's in the
Blockchain?
blockchain. That's it. Thank you. I don't know why I was thinking Bitcoin. He's
Because
using
I'm trying to figure what
blockchain.
blockchain has to do with.
No,
Oh, because
blockchain is a technology. It's not
it's the technology.
It's not so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get
So
it.
he's using blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
He's
So
using
that it
that
links
technology
everything
to
together.
make it
Yeah.
to where you will have provenance. Provenance is a thing from the art world that shows the ownership of something.
Uh-huh.
He's working on that for digital stuff, and he's working on making it to where you'll be able to tell whether something AI generated or not.
Oh, thank
Video and audio. He's working on it. It came. I read about it last week. It's just in the beginning stages, so they are aware of it. Because remember, they met with not
Congress.
Biden. They met with Harris,
Yeah.
VP Harris, and they were talking about these things. So there are things coming.
Okay.
So there's no need to get
Paranoid.
right. Things are coming. But this is what they're doing now. So
But remain skeptical, people.
right. Okay, so one more from Meta about generative AI. They have an open source process for AI music creation based on text prompts. So it's called Autocraft, and it is enables you to create new music based on text prompts. So you can compose original music and sounds without the need for instruments. So you won't need something like Epidemic Sound. You won't need to use any. You won't need to use any source or other company to give you sound, give you music to use. And this is very important in YouTube videos because of the copyright.
right.
You can't use you can't use an artist's music and things like that. So there's companies that make general music and they license it. So Meta is doing that. So here's the quote. Imagine a professional musician being able to explore new compositions without having to play a single note on an instrument, or a small business owner adding a soundtrack to their latest video on Instagram with ease. That's the promise of Audio Craft, our latest AI tool that generates high quality, realistic audio and music from text. So you'll put in a prompt, like the example they're saying here. They're saying music movie scene in a desert with percussion, and the audio craft system will give you a matching audio sample. So this uses Meta's Music Gen system that they previewed. They previewed in June. I don't remember hearing about it. So they have something called Music Gen and Audio Gen. So Music Gen has been trained on Meta-owned music samples, while Audio Gen incorporates public sound effects. So you'll be able to create sound music that you could use in content using a text prompt. Because right now we can't do that, but now Meta is doing that. So you'll be able to quickly add in unique music for your content online. And this is where we're going. Everything is speeding up. Like all of these, Meta's doing this, and then we talked about the AI tools that make the videos, and you don't even have to be on camera. All you have to do is put in a text prompt, and you've got what you need. Mm-hmm. So that's what's happening with Meta. One more. Yeah. Okay. One more. This is from Amazon. Amazon AMP is now available on Android. So AMP is their live audio streaming platform app called AMP, AMP. And it was supposed to be their radio, like you listen to, people can create radio stations. I think we talked about it. It was iOS only, and now it is available on Android. So here's the quote. They're saying it's very much like Sirius meets YouTube. So it'll be you can create your own radio station. But now, if you can create your own text prompt music, now you can use that, and then you'll be copyright free.
Okay.
Okay. Social media news updates for the week. A lot, right?
Yeah, all I can say is I'm scared. There is just so
much. I don't think I would be using AMP. I don't.
Yeah, I think I installed it and I didn't use it because it's radio. People create radio stations and you listen to the music they curate. Yeah, I have it.
Okay, so that's just like Spotify.
Well, yes, sorry. But this is
original music.
This is it's generated. Curated.
Right. Okay, so this is just like when I go into Apple Music, they said you put together a playlist that you can share with your friends or whatever. And I'm like, why? Because I'm not
right. But this is more of you're more of a DJ over your channel.
Okay, go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
Yeah, it's different. AMP is more like if you think about live stream or a live platform, this is like live audio. So yeah. Scheduled shows. There are some notable people that have shows over on AMP as well. And so you basically are just it's curating music. It's based around music, obviously, and probably powered by Amazon Music. So you are curating a show, and there's a talk aspect involved. Most people are playing music, but they're also talking in between. So basically, it's a live audio show that is centered around music.
Right, because Spotify only lets you make a playlist. They don't let you come on and talk and.
Okay, got it.
This is I have a playlist, but I'm a DJ and I can come on and make my own radio station, so to speak, where I play a song and I talk. I play a song and I have guests, and so it's like Dr. Tati said.
Oh, okay.
It came out last year, I think on iOS. Now it's on Android.
It's actually very cool. I like it quite a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have to play with it more. I had it installed and I had to reinstall it. So it looks pretty lively. So this is for people who, you're into mixtapes, DJing, talking, partying and things like that, and creating a channel where you have other people that's interested in that, they're gonna come over versus Spotify is you just go in and you sing a song.
Right. But this is having a this is probably what Anchor used to be before they switched
Anchor
up.
with music. Yes, this is Anchor with music.
Right.
Exactly. So that's what it is. So lots of good things. And what's going on with social media and everything is that people are going to the islands that they want to go to.
But you talked about this how many years ago?
I said this would happen. People are going to hang out, birds of a feather flock together. So you're going to have, this is good for us because you're going to be able to be on your own island of business owners that talk about blah or this or talk about that. The island of real estate in a certain area. And you can go there and people are going to come and because they're interested in that. People are going to come to that if you're on the right island, the right place, and you're doing the right things to attract people. And it's all there for you. You just got to know how to mix it up and create a system. As I always say, you got to have a system.
Right. Well, this was really good info today. Dr. Tachi, thank you for weighing in and letting us know what's happening in the world of media. And Terralina and her Amazon delivery up the mountain or down the mountain.
Over the river and through the woods.
I don't think grandma's living down in the bottom of the canyon. Wow. Yeah, that was good stories. And TJ, thank you so much for keeping us up to date with everything in social media news. Now, if you'd like to become a part of the BizChicks channel, you can do that. You can go to text biz to 33777 to become a part of the BizChicks family, or you can just go to bizchicks.net and sign up over there. There is no cost to do that. We like to share what it is that you do with the rest of the world and our BizChicks community. First Monday is coming up, and we will be in person at Seasons 52 on Arden Way in Sacramento, California. I do believe TJ is going to be our guest. Woo-hoo! Yeah. We're piping her in from New York City. So if you tune in, we will be going live from the restaurant that day. So you can tune in. It's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So we invite you to join us for that. And then what else we got going on? Follow somebody on here. Follow Dr. Tachi, follow TJ, follow Terralina, Carlos, or Mark, or anyone else who is here in the community, because we all need a cheerleader. We all need a coach, somebody who's going to help us. We're in a community where we support one another and where we are, you got a safe place to be here and ask questions.
Yep.
That's all I got to say.
Definitely.
So we look forward. We look forward to helping you take the hassle out of your hustle, and we'll see you here Monday.
All righty.
Coffee, tea, and thoughts and conversations with the BizChicks. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Tachi. Dr. Tachi, if she's still out there.
Yes, and everybody watching on Clubhouse, welcome and thank you for tuning in today.
All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.